right now. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rosemary, and I'm the founder of Shetribe. Shetribe is a sisterhood community for women of color, helping women get the best out of themselves, connect, share their experiences, and grow together. So, as part of the services that Shetribe offers, we have yearly retreats, holistic wellness retreats in African countries. We have master classes. We have a membership, and since a few months, we have also a coaching program tailored to women who want to deep dive a bit further into themselves and use their identity as a superpower. As part of the services we offer, I talked about masterclass, but we also organize challenges. And every now and again, we like to collaborate with old and new faces. And Vanessa, our special coach of today, is an old face for us. We worked together last year already for our challenge, which was a 100 days challenge, where we had different experts sharing their area of expertise. And she was one of the many favorites. And so we just had to ask her to join us again this year, all the way from the French Caribbean, all the way from Guadeloupe. So we're really, really happy to have her here, as she's gonna tell us all we need to know about female health and in general, but there's so much more to her. So I will stop talking and let her do her own introduction. On to you, and I will mute myself.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here this afternoon or this evening, because most people, it's evening for you. For me, it's the afternoon. I'm in Guadeloupe in the West Indies. And my name is Vanessa Meril Mamert. I'm a nutritionist. And my passion is really to try to make nutrition simpler and go back to the roots. I talk a lot about ancestral nutrition, what we were supposed to eat, what we grew up to, where our ancestors, our ancestor grew up to eat. And it's really dear to my heart to talk about hormonal health, because as many, many women, and myself included, and many women of my entourage who've been suffering from hormonal disorders like PMS, like endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS, and many of my clients come to me with this kind of disorders. So it's been very important along my journey to hear this kind of, to hear nutrition or wellness experts talk about hormonal health and link it to nutrition, link it to lifestyle. And it was really a turning point for me, because before that, I wasn't making the connection. And I think a lot of people really don't make the connection. They are told that it's like that, we suffer, there's nothing we can do, take the pill, take out your uterus, or just suffer in silence. And yeah, that was how I grew up. And when I started hearing wellness experts like Christian Northrup or many other people, hearing them talking about hormonal health and linking it to nutrition, to lifestyle, I was like, wow, this is amazing, because I can do something, and I can improve my health with what I eat, with what I do, and for me it's amazing.
Exactly. And as you said, so you're a woman who wears a lot of hats, because you're a nutritionist, but you're also an aromatherapist, you're a phytotherapist, if I say correctly. You're also a hatha yoga teacher. Wow, so that's a lot. Yes. But basically, you're an expert in holistic well-being, and you know how into everything holistic, and that's what you are. Could you explain a little bit about your expertise, the different hats that you wear, and what it means? Because some people may not. I think nutrition we know, but what is phytotherapy? So all the different hats you wear. Could you explain a bit about that before we delve into the topic?
Yes, absolutely. Well, this is really linked to my journey when I discovered the power of nutrition. And then I also discovered about the same time the power of yoga. So I incorporated yoga in my life. And it's been about 10 years now that I've been practicing yoga. And I got certified 3 years ago, because, I just wanted to. I don't teach on a regular basis, but really for me, yoga is part of my life, and I like to organize sometimes get-togethers with women and incorporate this. And as for the essential oils, it's the same story. It's like, oh, okay, there's natural substances that are really inside of a little bottle. You have this chemistry, and I studied biochemistry. So for me, it was like, wow, yeah, look at this. That's chemistry in this bottle. That's all it is: molecules and phenols, flavonoids, all kinds of aromatic molecules, and they are awesome. They are absolutely amazing for enhancing physical and mental health. And so I've been passionate about essential oils ever since. And it really made sense to me to incorporate all this in a holistic approach. And yeah, this is what I do with my clients. And I live in the Caribbean, so I use a lot of Caribbean herbs that are not really known in Europe, but I think we should really use what we have. And as African women, we need to rediscover the herbs that we have in Africa. And I'm really learning about this, and it's been very exciting as well. Yes.
Lovely. And I love how basically it started off from a need. You delve deeper into a topic because you needed that for yourself. You couldn't find it out there. I think for me, that also translates to what I do with Shetribe. I created this community because I couldn't find it anywhere. So I just thought, I want to create this community where women do care about things like that, do want to come together and learn about topics like this and grow and heal together. But to focus on the topic of today, let's get right down to business. If you could speak a little bit about the different hormonal health issues that you have heard about, because as you said, as a Black woman, we may have specific things that are different to other types of women. And I think in general, we hear a lot about, when we speak to general practitioners, we're advised to either take away a piece of us, take some pills that are not going to really solve the issue, but deal with the symptoms. But it's been very difficult to actually get advice from a different source, and also for us Black women or African women to turn to our herbs and what our ancestors were doing. So maybe you could talk a little bit about what are the specific hormonal health issues that you have heard that Black women mostly suffer from.
Well, yeah, this is a very important topic. So first of all, one of the most things that are affecting Black women are fibroids. The fibroids are part of, not part, but if you have fibroids, you will feel some type of tissue that is round, that is hard, that is bigger and getting bigger and bigger in your uterus or around your pelvic region and in your belly or whatever. So most of the time when a woman have very big fibroids, she will feel them. She will feel them in her body, and this is really common. This is really common. And then you have polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS. It affects 1 out of 10 women, okay? And among these women, all kinds of women, of course. And it's really like very common. I don't know if you realize, like 1 out of 10, it's a lot. It's a lot. So there's that. And after that, there's various different numbers. Not everybody is really certain of the number, but PMS is something that affects at least 30% of women in reproductive age. So that's, again, a lot. And sometimes you will have women that have several of these different afflictions. And there's endometriosis as well, almost 1 out of 10, which is another type of ailment. And to summarize, it's different from fibroids because it's the muscle tissue, if you want, it's the tissue of your uterus that is able to grow, but outside of your uterus, to make it very simple. So there's that. And PCOS, yes, I forgot to say about PCOS. It's an affliction that is linked to excess of androgen hormones. So testosterone and other androgens that are normally present in every woman, but in lower numbers. And those numbers are elevated when you have PCOS, and it can show up as excess hair growth, excess acne. You can have a lot of inflammation. You can have anovulation, so you don't ovulate, and this can be the cause that you have you don't have your period for an extended period of time. Yeah, these are the most important signs. And of course, when you need to be diagnosed with these different ailments. One of the things that are very tragic is that a lot of women, they don't have a diagnosis. They go from doctor to doctor for many, many years. Sometimes they talk about 8 years, 10 years. Nobody really knows what they have, and they suffer. And even those who have a diagnosis, the answers that Western medicine offers to these ailments is really weak, in my opinion. It's either the pill, either you take out your uterus. So it's really
dramatic.
There's not a lot of options, and this is what I wanted to talk about. The other options, the holistic approach, the natural approach that offers, in my opinion, a lot of options, and that work, options that work. So that's really important.
Yeah. Before we move on to, basically the other options that are there to treat the different types of ailments that you talked about, I had a question about polyps.
Yeah.
Is this related to PCOS, or is that completely different?
It's, I would say different, because it's not, polyps are just growth that are going to be present in your vagina, but they're not necessarily something that is problematic. They don't really cause problems, so there's really few information about what is really polyps, but they're not linked to any of the ailments I just talked about.
So most of the time, if a woman has other fertility issues, it may not be caused by the polyps, but by something else. And
absolutely. Fertility is a very, very, very important topic of mine as well, because in my opinion, there's a book called The Fifth Vital Sign, and I recommend everybody to read this book. And basically, the truth is that a healthy period is the fifth vital sign. So you have temperature, blood pressure, heart rhythm, and you have the fourth. What is the fourth one? Sorry, I forgot the fourth one. But the fifth vital sign is a healthy period, and so we need to really pay attention and give the importance of a healthy period. Do you have a period every month? Is the blood that's coming out, is it red? Is it bright red, or is it brown? What color is it? Is it painful? Is it does it come on a regular basis? Maybe it's 27 days, 28, 29, whatever, but is it regular, etc. So these informations are going to be used by your body to tell you if there's something wrong. So if everything is right, your period is going to be right. So this is what we want. So if we work on our period, and if we ovulate every month, this is the main event of the cycle, is the ovulation. So if we ovulate every month, we're going to be fertile. We're going to be, it's going to be a sign that we are healthy. Yeah, that's that. So yeah, fertility is one of the side effects of taking care of any period issues that you have.
I really love that, because I think in our society there's this love-hate relationship with periods, and I would say even among women there's more of a hate relationship with periods than a love. And I think it's very important, as part of loving who you are completely and accepting that yourself as a woman, periods are part of it. And this is, for a lot of women, And I think for even me personally, growing up, I was one of the women who had my periods very young. So I was one of the first ones in school. I was, so it changes a lot. I also suffer from fibroids. And I think that, as you said, if you watch your cycle, it gives you a lot of information about yourself, and a lot of other issues are kind of linked to that. I also suffered from migraine growing up. For me, it's more of a genetic thing. My mother as well has migraine issues, but all of this is kind of linked to hormonal issues, but there's not a lot of information out there. And the solutions that healthcare providers come up with are very dramatic and drastic. But one of the signs I know is that, for instance, I used to, what's the word? Have spotting between periods. So spotting, for those who don't know, it's just that you have a little bit of bleeding in between your period, but it's not necessarily period. And it was brown. And I had that every few days before my period, or sometimes after, or sometimes random. And I thought this was normal until I found out that actually there's no reason for it to happen for no reason, just like that. And that's what led me to V-steaming and other things. So it's really, I guess, as you said, it's important to have that relationship with yourself where you identify what's going on with your cycle. Could you talk to us, ladies? If you have questions in the meantime, feel free to put in the chat. I will be checking every now and again to ask the questions as well. But could you tell us a little bit about prevention, or how do you, as a woman, how do you recommend that women take care of their hormonal health in general? What are the few tips, things that we can all do regardless of whether we have any issues or not, but just women in reproductive stage or whatever? What should we be doing to be healthy?
Well, there's a few things. So really, and I want to be very simple about this, because what we see is that all of these issues have a common root cause. And two of those root causes for me are inflammation and insulin resistance.
Sorry, is your phone close to the laptop?
Sorry?
Is your phone close to the laptop?
Yes.
Okay, I think it's making like a...
it makes an interference or something. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. How is it now? Is it better?
So let me check in the chat. Okay, it's better now.
Okay, great. Okay.
So anyway, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So there is two things that we need to take care of if we want to improve all of these conditions that I talked about, is inflammation and insulin resistance. Okay. And so what is really amazing is that those two things can be improved with nutrition. It can be improved with proper exercise. And when I say proper, it's not cardio. So proper exercise. It can be improved with stress management. So here comes the essential oils, here comes the yoga, etc. It can be improved with plant medicine, so phytotherapy, like I said. So there's a lot of things that we can do to improve these things. So inflammation and insulin resistance. So I can talk about insulin resistance for now. So as you know, insulin is a hormone that our body makes when we eat sugar, mainly. It responds to sugar. It responds also to some proteins, like, for example, when you eat lean protein, it will raise your insulin a little bit, but mostly it's about sugar. So we know that we are a society where we love sugar. Sugar is everywhere. We have sugar all the time, especially young people. They don't really think about it. I remember when I was a student, I was buying all kinds of sweets, like cakes and pastries and blah, blah, blah. And that was my fuel. I was studying and I was basically eating this crap all day long. And no wonder why I was such out of balance. And yeah, no, that was not a good idea. So sweets, sodas, juices, jams, etc., etc. All these things are in our lives, and it's from the morning to the evening. But also, what you need to know is that carbs are really sugar. So carbs, which is bread, pastas, and sweet potato, yams, breadfruit, cassava, etc., etc. All these things are carbs. And as women of color, we love our carbs. Okay, it's the basis of African cuisine. There's carbs everywhere, carbs everywhere. In the West Indies, it's the same, and basically the whole world is like that. And what I want to say is that if you are metabolically healthy, it's not a problem. We can see this with Asian people. They eat a lot of rice, but they're not especially overweight. But when you add to this the stress, you add to this refined oils, fried food, etc., lots of sweets, like what I mentioned, the juices, the sodas, you add this to what was a normal healthy diet. This is when you're gonna get all the problems. Oh, yeah, she just turned it off. So yeah, insulin resistance, it happens when your body is like bombarded with sugar all the time. And at some point, it's gonna be like, okay, I cannot deal with this. I cannot deal with all this sugar in my body. And even though the insulin is telling me to take in this sugar, I don't want to listen anymore because there's too much. And your cells become quite deaf to insulin's message. So that's what happens, and that is the root cause. And this is something that doesn't happen overnight. It happens over decades, decades of times. And by the time that you are, I don't know, 15, 17, 20 something, and you have 2 decades of really sugar-rich diet, this is what happens. Your hormones suffer, and your fifth vital sign, your cycle, will be out of whack because of all this. So we understand that taking care of our diet and making sure that we are not insulin resistant, it's gonna have a huge impact on all hormonal issues. And this is really what I think, no matter what you have, really, what is the way of your body expressing hormonal imbalance, it's gonna very improve with diet, and with the fact that you are becoming less insulin resistant. So this is called therapeutic carb restriction. This is, as the name says, it's therapeutic. It's a way of eating when you minimize the carb that you eat. You avoid sweets and processed food. You're able to drive down inflammation. You're able to improve insulin resistance, and you're able to also improve your lipid profile, like cholesterol, etc. All of this is going to benefit from therapeutic carb restriction. And this is something that doctors use, and this is something that I was trained in therapeutic carb restriction. And this is really a powerful tool for me, a powerful tool. So if there is only one thing that you could remember from this talk, is that if you just retrain your body and avoid sugars and too much carbs, you're going to be better off. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I have a question about the carbs, because as part of the challenge, one of you advised about, reducing carbs as well. And I think for me, what was interesting that I learned is that fruits and vegetables, or at least some fruits and vegetables, are carbs. And it's so strange for me, because my whole life I thought carbs was pasta, bread, rice, and I never thought that fruits and veggies, when I think of fruits and veggies, I think, well, that's healthy, that's good for you. I think in my head, I was just thought it was fiber or something. I'm not sure what I thought it was, but I never thought it was carbs. Are they some fruits and vegetables that are considered carbs, or are all fruits and vegetables considered as carbs?
Yeah, absolutely. All fruits and vegetables are carbs. They are carbohydrates because they contain sugars, and they contain some sugars that we cannot digest, and they call fibers. Fibers are
Digestible.
undigestible sugars. And yeah, so the impact is going to be different on your insulin for sure. But at the end of the day, fruits, they contain glucose and fructose, so they contain sugar. Yeah, yeah. The thing is, food are fine as long as you don't overdo it, and as long as you're metabolically healthy. Food are really, what they are. They have a lot of fiber, so this fiber is going to slow down the release of the sugar that they contain. So basically, if you eat whole fruits in a reasonable amount, it's not a big deal. The big deal is when you take in juice, orange juice, all kinds of grape juice, apple juice, even though you think they're very 100% natural, but they are 100% sugar, almost.
I like that you're saying this, and I see the chats popping up, people saying, oh, me too, me too. So, because we're like, oh, let's juice, let's juice all day long. People are juicing and juicing and juicing, but forgetting that actually they're probably mostly consuming sugar. And so, as you're saying, it's good to eat it because then you have the fibers as well. And you need to be balanced in everything that you do. And I think that's something that you're quite an expert in teaching people to have a healthy diet and have a balanced diet. Someone is asking, so can we eat carbs but not combine them with sugar? But the thing is, if, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, so yeah, really, carbs are sugar. This is what we need to understand. Carb is sugar, carb is glucose. So no matter what you do, it's going to become sugar in your body. The thing is, when you eat a balanced meal, you have protein, you have fats, you have carbs. If you have not, you have, how can I say that? You eat something that is balanced, you have your vegetables with the fiber, etc. It's going to be fine, okay? But the problem arises when you eat something that is unbalanced. So for example, when you eat in the morning a piece of bread with jam, this is not balanced because you have carbs with the bread and sugar with the jam. So where is your protein? Where is your fats? For example, if you have in the morning, I know a lot of my clients, they used to eat fruits in the morning. I just have some fruits and it's healthy and blah, 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 but I can't lose weight. And what is happening? So I had to really, I'm sorry, I have to tell the bad news. These fruits that you like so much, maybe they're not serving you for the purpose of losing weight. So, you need to take things for what they are. They are sugars. And something that a lot of people don't realize as well is that the fruits that we have today, they have nothing in common with the fruits that our ancestors was eating. These fruits have been hybridized. They have been modified by crossing different, type of apples, to make them sweeter, to make them bigger, to make them beautiful when you go at the store and they look so shiny, so tempting, And even the bananas that we have, it's normal bananas. They're not like that. They're not like that at all. They have a lot of seeds in them, and they all the fruits and vegetables that we have today, they are really, 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 really
modified.
Modified, yeah. So they are, very rich in sugars, and they are lower in the good micronutrients like vitamins and minerals that we would have. So it's like almost like candy, and you can see that when you eat this pineapple, it's so sweet, it's so like, wow, it's amazing. Yes. And I want you to have it, a small part of it. But if you overdo it, you need to remember that this sugar is going to hit your sugar, and it's going to make your insulin go higher up. And yeah, we can't avoid that. It's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So carbs are sugars and fruits are sugars, and vegetables are different because they don't have sugars, but they have fibers. So vegetables are different. And when it comes to juicing, you can juice vegetables if you want. You can juice cucumbers, add some lime, add some mint, and it's gonna be fine, you know. But it's when you start juicing 10 apples, or sometimes it really gets out of hand with the juicing
Someone
craze.
asked, what do we eat at the end? But it's good that you said, so vegetables have less sugar or no sugar at all. Or maybe some have, but probably at a lower quantity.
Vegetables are so low in sugar and they have a lot of fiber, so any vegetable is
It's fine.
fine.
Okay.
Okay,
You want to add
so
fruits, then a little quantity, but not overdo it, because like you said, to get a glass of apple juice, you probably need a lot of apples, which
yeah,
means that you're bringing your sugar level higher. So basically everything is about balancing.
it's about quantity, because what I see is that because you hear everywhere that it's healthy, it's healthy, it's healthy, so people they
Overdo
they,
it.
they almost force themselves to eat 5 different fruits in a single day. This is too much. And also there's the seasonability, because I live in a tropical country, and we have some fruits almost year long. But when you live in Europe, you live in United States or whatever, and it's winter, and you're not supposed to have fruits because it's not the time of the year to have fruits. It's not warm enough outside. So your body is going to react differently to these fruits. And it's a very important topic as well. That is, that for me, helps me understand what I should eat and what in which quantity. So yeah, we have to think about this. We have to think about the seasonability, about the place that we live, the food that we eat, where they're from. Are they seasonal? Are they local? Are they really going to serve me, or are they just candies from the nature?
The basic thing you would say, the main thing is to check your diet. Make sure it's balanced, that you have all the different aspects of protein, fats, and carbs in every meal that you eat. And also you would say reduce your sugary stuff. So reduce the carbs, reduce the fruits, because keep in your mind, these are actually sugars, especially for those who also have any reproductive health issues. Know that that's one of the main causes. The second one you talked about is inflammation. Could you go a little bit deeper about that?
Yes, absolutely. So inflammation is a natural process that happens in your body to help you deal with different microbes, etc. So it's good to have some type of inflammation. But when it comes chronic and latent inflammation, that's something that is there every single day. For example, you have your pain in your knees, you have inflammation in your liver. You don't feel it because it's in your liver, but it's there. It's like a low key inflammation. It's not good because it's gonna release free radicals in your system. Your body is gonna be like always fighting, always needing more and more antioxidants to fight this inflammation. It's gonna drain your life force, I could say. It's gonna drain it over the years, over the months, over the years, for sure. So low-key inflammation is also a really, really, really important topic and important underlying condition of many types of diseases. Not only some things like heart disease, atherosclerosis, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, etc., etc. But it's also at the root cause of period disorders, feminine disorders. Absolutely, inflammation. So what we can do to minimize this inflammation, again, it comes to avoid foods that are pro-inflammatory, avoid things that are already so, how can I say that? They are so reactive that when you're going to eat them, they're going to oxidize and they're going to require your body to really fight hard to avoid damages. They're going to release a lot of free radicals. So these things, one of those things, for the most important, I think, are vegetable oils that are rich in omega-6. Why? Because the omega-6 are fatty acids that they are so-called essential, but this is kind of, I put quote unquote, because the research shows that it will be the contrary. But this is very controversial right now. The omega-6 are pro-inflammatory, and when you eat them in excess, they're gonna promote inflammation in your body. So what I see is that people, they switch a few decades ago from using saturated fats like butter and stuff like that to eat vegetable oils, because their doctors, their dietitians, their nutritionists told them that it was better for their health to eat sunflower, safflower oil, canola oil, etc. All these types of vegetable oils that are really seed oils and are so prone to oxidation. They are so fragile, and it comes to the chemistry of these fats. So I don't want to, bombard you with information, but what you need to know is that in their chemistry, they're very reactive. So that's why they're pro-inflammatory. And we eat more and more of this, and they are everywhere. They put it in processed food, and they sell it, and you find it in the salad dressings and all kinds of stuff. And you use it, everybody uses them on a daily basis. And we use them thinking they're good, like, oh, I bought the canola oil, it's so heart healthy or whatever. And this is really, this is crazy, because the more and more we use the stuff, the more and more we use sugar and vegetable oil, the more we are sick, the more we are obese, the more there is disease like obesity, like diabetes, etc., and heart disease. Mm-hmm. It's a strong correlation that at least we should question the advice that we're given.
Yeah.
Because the government tells us to eat less meat, at less saturated fat, and to increase our consumption of vegetable oils, of vegetables and fruits, and to increase our consumption of cereals and starch. We do this, okay? The different, we're able to measure what people do, and when you see what they buy, etc., we know that people, they do what they're told, and we see that we are more and more sick. Mm-hmm. We are sicker and sicker.
I have a question, about the inflammation one, because one that keeps coming back in the world, I would say, is the dairy, milk products. That milk is something that causes inflammation. At least that's something I have heard. Could you speak a little bit about that? And then I have a question in the chat that I'd like to pose you after.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that dairy drives inflammation. The problem is that a lot of people are unable to digest properly, not just dairy, but if someone cannot digest dairy, they have other digestive issues. Mm-hmm. That's what we see most of the time. It's not just, oh, I can digest milk. Also, there's other things that I cannot digest. So the whole digestion is compromised. So, of course, if you cannot digest it and you eat it, it's going to make your situation worse. And of course, when you stop eating it, you're going to feel better, and etc. But at the root cause of those digestive issues, it's not dairy that is the problem, really. I don't think so. And I come from a country that is it's French, so we have all kinds of cheeses, and there is a strong tradition of cheeses, and they've been around for millennia. I mean, really, if cheese or dairy was the problem, I mean, we would have the problem before, you know what I'm saying? we have to look for the culprits of all our problems into the new things that we've been eating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, the processed food, again, this ton of sugar, again, this ton of vegetable oils, they were not there 100 years ago. So I don't want to blame dairy and meat as well for something that they didn't do. So yeah, so that's what I can say about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to take care of your digestion. Of course, if you don't digest it, don't eat it. That's a no-brainer. But
Yeah.
really try to work on your digestion. This is one of the first things that you should do with a holistic practitioner, is to improve your digestion. It's
Mm.
key for health. It's key.
The question, thank you for that. The question in the chat was about, I mean, two questions I see now. Conditions that may be caused by hormonal issues, so skin conditions. We talked a little bit earlier about, for instance, acne.
Yeah, acne.
Yeah, you talked about that can be linked. Could you talk a little bit more about how that could be linked to other skin issues, and what can people do when they are having skin issues?
Absolutely.
Could that be related to hormonal issues?
Absolutely. So in your skin, you have glands that are going to respond to your hormones. They're going to respond to estrogen. They're going to respond to testosterone, and they're going to, for example, estrogen and testosterone has a tendency to make your skin more oily. You know, so your skin becomes more oily, and the pores can clog, and then you can have the bacteria that is responsible for acne that is going to feed off this sebum that is clogged, and then you're gonna have the typical inflammatory acne. So it's like a vicious cycle. Your hormones are really driving this. And so acne is difficult, kind of difficult to treat, but I think that it has to be a combined approach with things that you do on the external, on your skin, like what you put on your skin, what is your skincare routine, you know, and combine with all the things that you're going to do to improve your hormone, to improve the insulin resistance, and to nourish your body from within. Yes, it's really important. So it's a both. If you do only inside, in my experience, it's not going to be enough. So you have to really take care also of your skin routine. So yeah, I think so. About the hormones, all the menstrual issues that I talked about, they're mostly driven by, they have a component of estrogen dominance. So it means that you produce a lot of estrogen on the first half of your cycle, the follicular phase. And then you continue producing a lot of estrogen, and maybe you don't have enough of progesterone. So it's the two hormones that are produced during your cycle. And so estrogen dominance is really at the root cause of those skin issues, and also water retention, sensitive breast, etc., PMS, etc. So there's a few ways to take care of the estrogen dominance.
Okay. And so those are ways you tell us at the end how we can work with you. But basically, so the answer is obviously work on the outside, look at what you put on your skin, how is your skincare routine, and also look at the inside. Perhaps you have a estrogen dominance, and then you could look at your meals. So basically what you eat that maybe contains a lot of estrogen, could that be something that you could do, or do you have to do a test? How do you know if you have a high estrogen level?
Yeah, so you would need to do a blood test. So you would need to go see your doctor and order blood tests, and he would look at your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, and he will also look at your thyroid hormones And if he's really nice, he's gonna also order a test for your insulin. So this is difficult to get, again, a test. So depending on the willingness of your doctor, you're gonna be able to test these different markers. And yeah, it's really straightforward. You need to go at different, I would suggest to do at least 2 tests and go in different period of your cycle. So maybe during the beginning at the follicular phase, and maybe if you can do another test at the luteal phase around day 21, 22, to be sure what you see, because we are cyclical, so it's not always the same, and it will really depend what you add on your cycle to do the test. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and it's really good to have the test, because then you can look at the numbers and you change what you eat, you change your lifestyle, you start exercising. I didn't talk about it, but you start maybe incorporate some resistance training, some strength training in your approach. You start walking maybe daily. That would be ideal. And those simple changes can really improve your insulin resistance. And then, yeah, you can have a test again 6 months later, a year later, and see the difference. So yeah, I think it's important to have a starting point for that matter. Yeah.
So basically, I think at the root cause of trying to deal or prevent with diseases or ailments that are related to hormonal issue, it's all about lifestyle. That's basically the, you know,
all about lifestyle.
The line, the lifestyle. And the good news, that's good news, because it means you can do something about it. If it was not lifestyle, it meant that, you know, it's a dead end and you just have to live with it, or, you know, die or something.
Yes, exactly. It would mean that you would have to suffer every month, and I really don't think that it's
necessary.
And I was able to transform myself and free myself of pain, and I know that it's possible. I have clients who have seen the results as well. So if you do the work, it's going to improve your health. It's going to help you be at a healthy weight, whether you need to gain or to lose weight. It's going to help you to really have, you know, more energy in life and be yourself, just that, and not be stuck every month with the pain, with the discomfort, with it's really powerful that what we can do with our lifestyles. And, you know, yeah, so nutrition, exercise, and you to find what works for you. What worked for me was yoga, and it was using essential oils. That worked for me. Also changing my mindset and being like more carefree, I would say, like not stressing about things and not being like always thinking about the consequences of things, being living in the future instead of living in the present moment. That really makes a huge difference as well.
I have one last question before we start to round up. Ladies, if you have more questions, do put them in the chat. One question was related to someone who has an 8-month-old baby and was wondering whether there was something she could already start doing now to give her basically a good nutritional habit, like food, you know. I guess we start early, start young.
It starts even in the womb. It starts in the womb.
Exactly.
Yes, I think, yeah, the most important thing I would say is to make sure that the baby has the key nutrients that it needs. The key nutrients being vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, and vitamin D. And we know that even when we live in a hot climate, most of us are deficient in vitamin D, because if you're a Black person, your body is going to be able to filter the sunlight too much, and you're going to not be able to make a lot of vitamin D. And so, yeah, we see more and more babies that are deficient in vitamin D. That's why the doctor is going to go into prescribe the drops. But I really think that the right approach is to live outside a little bit more, to take this habit of, you know, baby has to be at ease when she is outside, like being in the sun a few minutes a day, taking the habit to being connected to the earth, taking the habit to eating things, a variety of things, including animal products and plant products. Yeah, this is really what you're going to be doing, the best thing that you're going to do for your baby to be healthy. We know that most baby products that I see commercially, they're full of sugar as well. You have the compote, the fruit, the mashed fruits.
Mm-hmm.
You have the biscuits that they give the baby when they're teething. You know, they give them biscuits. You have the milks, of course, they're sugars. So, of course, baby, they need sugar. They need sugar to grow, but they also need protein and good fats like everybody else. So being sure that you have this right balance for your baby and to not be afraid to give him very good traditional foods that we don't want to eat today, but like liver, like eggs, you know, things like that. It's going to be tremendous to convey those precious fat-soluble vitamins to the baby.
I love that you mentioned that, because if I'm a mother and my mom, obviously we're African, so my mom always gives me advice about how she used to do things, blah blah blah, and most of the time she cannot explain why I should do something or why I should not do something, but it comes down to it. She's like, kids are, our kids used to eat everything, so just give everything to your child. And that's basically what you're saying. Make sure the meals is balanced and diverse. She would also tell me when I was growing up, don't eat too much sugars because it's bad for women. But she would never explain, what do you mean it's bad for women?
I
She
love
never
this.
have an explanation. But again, it comes down to, yes, it's bad for women. It's true. It's bad for everyone, but it's bad for women specifically.
She knows. She knows.
He was also never told, but I love that as growing up, I learned that more and more things my mom told me, she was right all along. She just didn't have the subtitles for me to understand why. And I think we come from a generation where we want to understand everything. We want to know why this. Is it researched? Where do you know this from? And at the end of the day, she is right. So I'm really, it goes back to trusting your ancestors and going back to your roots. So, and that's what I'm all about. So thank you so much for answering those questions. I'd like you to round up by telling us how we can work with you, because this was a very interesting topic, but it's also a complicated one. It's a one that needs to be personalized. This is not, like approach for everyone. It's very personalized because it's based on sometimes also genetics, but also what you eat, your own habits. And parts of this I look into in my coaching program as well, but I always refer people to specialists when it comes to specific things, because you just have to work with a specialist. And when it comes to hormonal and just nutrition and all these things, personalizing is the best way to go. So tell us a little bit about how we can work with you on a one-to-one basis, or maybe, yeah.
Yes, thank you. So so right now I'm working with clients, and you can send me an email at my email, Vanessa.
Could you please type it in the chat when you're done?
Oh yeah, okay. How can I do that? I'm gonna type my email in the chat so you can reach out to me and we can have a discovery call. Okay, it's gonna be a free discovery call. You can up.nania.com and you can ask me, and you can tell me about your issues, and this way I would know if we can work together and if we are a good fit, and if I can help you with my approach. So so really claim your discovery call. It's free. It's
Claim it, ladies, claim it. It's free,
claim it.
and at least you have a session with her. You get to explain how you feel. She could give you advice. Great if you can work together. If she has to refer you to someone else and say, you need to do this or that first, that's fine as well. So basically, you would say for everything, the services would be first the discovery call, and that's how you identify what the needs are and how you work.
Exactly. It's very important for me, this discovery call, because it can be that, you would need to work on your stress, and I would refer you to a stress specialist, for example, because it's not always about nutrition. I'm a nutritionist, and I know that it's a multi approach, and I know how to identify the first steps.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the first step is nutrition. Maybe it's something else. So I'm really, yeah, I really take care of identifying what you need to do and in which sequence is going to be
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
helpful for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There
Mhm.
was one last question that came in. I would quickly want to go on, yeah, touch on that. Someone says, I think Ganesh was saying she had fibroids removed or reduced, an operation to reduce the fibroids last year. She's wondering what she should do to avoid them coming back. And she has the feeling that her gynae is not telling her everything she wants to hear. He said there's no cure, but is there a way of preventing those? I have fibroids too, and I've been
Yeah.
able to reduce the growth and also stop them multiplying, but they're
Yes.
there, ladies. They're not like they're not
Yeah.
disappeared.
It's not a disease, it's a symptom. You have
Mhm.
to really understand it's a symptom. Your body is telling you, oh, you need to change something in the way you live. So this is really difficult for me to answer because I don't know this person. I don't know how she lives. If she has maybe a very stressful work or whatever, or if she exercises, if she what she eats.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, for fibroids, again, it's inflammation. So maybe be very careful of the oils that you use. Be very careful of the amount of sugar that you eat, and maybe if you eat processed food, stop eating them because they have a lot of chemicals in them that are not good for you. And so you know it's always the same, the core things, the core changes that are going to make a huge difference in fibroids. And of course, there's some herbs that you can take that will help you deal with the condition. But every person needs a different herb, so I
Yeah.
cannot
Book a
say.
discovery call, ladies. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying. It's free, so
yeah.
don't stress about it. Just book your call with her. The best thing you could do is at least get some more information about, a different approach from a woman who looks like you and who understands you.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I didn't mention, but my diagnosis was endometriosis. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So this was endometriosis, and I was having terrible, terrible pains. And when I was about 25, between 23 and 27-ish, I would say. And yeah, the transformation is it occurs. It occurs if you are consistent in what you do, if you learn to, if you take the time to learn yourself, to learn how to react to things, to try to understand why this is manifesting like this in your body. And it's a whole process. So don't expect overnight changes. You can expect overnight improvements for sure with just a few tips I gave you about the nutrition. But the real healing is taking place over an extended period of time, like years. And really, I've been doing this for more than 10 years. And, you know,
it's a way of life.
yes, 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 yes. It's a little by little, you change something, you make a small change, and you do another step, you take another step, and then when you feel good, you take another step, and then this is how you do it.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for this. I hope you ladies enjoyed it. This is part of basically some of the things that we offer at Shetribe. If you don't know Shetribe or you just happen to receive the link or the email to join, we have sessions like this, but we also have master classes which are translated into this. Actually, Vanessa will be one of our experts from next year as well, sharing the master classes in a form like this, where you have about an hour or so of teaching from her on a specific topic, and you have access to this as a member. We have a special offer coming next week. It's a special, I don't want to say the name of the special time to do that promotion, but there's a promotion coming up for people who are thinking about investing in themselves, joining a program. And these are some of the things that you can expect to get: tailored information for you, for women of color, me going out there finding the right experts to work with so that you can get the best help you need to grow and get to the level you want to be at. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for joining us and for sharing your expertise.
Thank you, Rosemary, for this
Um,
opportunity, for the work you're doing for the community. It's really, really, really important, extremely meaningful and needed. So really, thank you for all this.
You're welcome. Ladies, I've put the email for the website for Shetribe. It's www. But it doesn't matter, just like that.com, shetribeconnect.com. If you want to check it out and sign up to our newsletter so you will be notified about the next experts, the challenges, all the things we're doing. And if you want to join our membership, you can get all the information. This is recorded, so if you sign up, you have access to the recording so you can watch it again. And you can also see with the one we did last week, which was with Sade, who talked about all about time management. And to be honest, this was amazing as well. The video is online for you to rewatch again. And yeah, I wish you a wonderful Saturday everywhere. Thank you for joining.
Wonderful Saturday.
Talk to you soon, ladies.
Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in.